Hi, Sandites. Welcome to District Dialogue. It's been a while since we've been on camera, so tonight's session is live. I think we have a treat for you tonight because tonight we have with us Mr. Stan Trout from Charles Page High School. He's our principal, and of course, Sean Beer, our assistant superintendent of teaching and learning. I just want to preface this with it's been a great year coming back from where we were last year, and it is today 5 weeks until the end of the school year, which is amazing. So we have had a great year, very successful, and really proud of our students and their performance this year and all kinds of activities and academically. So tonight's version of dialogue is really about letting the public know what we have to offer at Charles Page High School. And I just want to preface it before I turn it over to Mr. Trout that we really have taken this idea of student choice in preparation for life after high school and done a brilliant job. I know you hosted a time for students and parents to come and showcase the programs. You want to talk about March the 2nd?
Sure. We opened up our building, which is always open to parents, by the way, to our public, particularly the parents of students who are going to be entering Charles Page High School, next year's ninth graders, next year's sophomore parents in particular, so that they could see all the special programming that we have at Charles Page High School, our STEM programs, our biomedical, engineering and computer science classes, our Tulsa Tech classrooms where we have embedded on-campus Tulsa Tech programs in manufacturing, construction, interior design, and then many of our AP teachers, our CTE teachers who do things like Sandites TV, they were there as well. So we just wanted our public to be able to see all the programs that we have available, that this is maybe not the same high school that you remember 40 years ago.
It probably isn't the same high
It's
school.
probably one of the few opportunities that people have had to see your new facilities too. So
Oh, it's fantastic. And I love seeing people who graduated from Charles Page High School or have memories of having younger siblings come through, see it for the first time and walk in and see that giant lobby and just melt.
You didn't talk about internships yet, and we're going to get to that. But the other thing I can't help but add is the infusion of our community partners inside all of the workings and what we do with our high school students. And we hosted a career fair not too long ago. And I really don't know how many community partners came in to share their vocation, but every single student, 10th through 12th grade, was engaged in at least four
sessions with 4 different career choices. And the answer to that question was 35. We had 35 community partners, business owners, business leaders, people who have opportunities to offer to our students, who gave of their time to come to Charles Page High School and share what they do with our students. It was a pretty magical day.
with a full range of vocational opportunities to share. So it just kind of goes hand in hand with what we're talking about. So I'm going to let you take it away. We're going to show, I think, a slideshow.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yep.
And if it looks like I'm checking my phone, it's because I am. I have the slides here and I can't see it on the YouTube channel, so I'm not ignoring you. I'm checking the slideshow if that happens. So Tina, if you could flip it to the slide with the big orange spike in the middle, that's one of my favorites. At Charles Page High School, we live by the mantra of student success. That defines everything that we do. So a few years ago, I made this little slide, and we're going to ignore everything on the left side of the screen. We're going to particularly focus on the third element, which is empower a community of learners. And anybody who's attended a Charles Page High School pep assembly or been to a football game or anything has seen us chant the school motto: challenge minds, inspire hearts, and empower a community of learners. So everything we do at Charles Page High School is defined by one of those 3 elements. And tonight we're going to talk a little bit about empowering a community of learners, because to me, what that means is we're empowering students for success beyond high school. And we define success at Charles Page High School very broadly, because our goal is to not just make those students who may be honor graduates or make a 30 on the ACT to have them be successful. We want all of our students to be successful, no matter what pathway it is that they choose beyond high school, be that college, be that a career, straight into the for some kind of technical training, the military, whatever it is. So we have a very specific definition of success at Charles Page, and that is preparing students to be immediately successful, no matter what pathway they choose.
You hear that buzzword of school choice around the nation and certainly in Oklahoma. And it's interesting how we tailor the idea of choice that is really primarily focused on students.
Right.
Not to say that family engagement isn't completely important, but the fact that our students have this large array of opportunities at Charles Page is something that is pretty brilliant inside the walls of our school.
Well, we're really proud of that because we know that our students are diverse. We know that our students have diverse interests and plans beyond high school. We know that our families have different levels of preparation to put a kid through 4 years of college. So we want to tailor our course offerings to every single one of our students and every single one of our families so that they can choose something that is right for them, so that high school is meaningful for them.
Sure.
So next slide. As part of this effort, we have adopted what is referred to as an education buzzword, the career pathways model. That's a graphic that's in our hallway. We have one for each of the 3 elements of our school motto. But the Charles Page High School and more broadly, the Sand Springs Public Schools mission statement references empowering students to maximize their potential beyond high school, beyond graduation. So we've adopted this career pathways model. We ask our students, every single one of our students, to identify a particular career pathway that they're interested in beyond high school, be that, technology, be that media, be that manufacturing. You could choose virtually anything across the career spectrum. That doesn't mean they're locked in. That doesn't mean they have to choose and they don't have to stay in that field, but it means that we want to concentrate them in a particular area of interest that they've chosen so that they have the best chance of success after high school.
So it's not like they're declaring a major.
Right. So still, as it was when most everyone went to high school student, most of their schedule is still taken up with required classes. We still do the 4 English and the 3 math and the 3 science and the 3 social studies. But there is a great deal of choice within the electives that fill out that graduation.
Could their core subjects be altered a little bit to specify? So for instance, if a student chose biomed, maybe science coursework would look a little bit different, maybe.
It would.
That
So once a student gets beyond biology, which is a state requirement, they can choose whatever that 3rd science needs to be. And it can be a biomedical science. It can be an engineering class. It can be anything they want to be. It can be chemistry if they're interested in that, supplementing a career goal in engineering or something.
correct.
For sure.
Good.
Next.
It's going to take a second to pop.
Okay. One of the things, I love this picture. And by the way, I took this picture on the way home from a basketball game. We had just upset #1 ranked Booker T. Washington in our gym. And I'm driving home and this beautiful full moon was rising over downtown Tulsa. So that is an original stand Trout photo in downtown. So just,
Autocrat.
I did. I think I'm almost cost me wreck on 412 taking that picture. But one of the reasons,
It's a good capstone to
Yeah.
night basketball.
it was a pretty special night. So one of the things that is really great about the career pathways model is we do surveys with our students. We ask our students all the time what they want to do. And a majority of our students stay around here. The majority of our students are lifelong Sandites, or at least they plan to stay around in Tulsa and Oklahoma within our area. And so the great thing about the career pathways model is our education that we're offering our kids. It's not only a benefit to the kids, it's a supplement to the entire area economy. And our career, our business community here in Sand Springs has understood that in a very, very big way, and has understood that a trained, well-educated, motivated workforce graduating from Charles Page is a great benefit to them as well.
Absolutely.
Interesting, as she's changed that slide, we started that path with our business partners before COVID.
Right.
And we went into COVID, and I don't know about you, but this superintendent was a little bit nervous about how that was going to play out. And interestingly, in good old fashioned Sandite way, it played out beautifully. No
did.
statistics.
We'll show that here in just a bit, but in short, in Ms. Durkee's reference, the career internship program. In our first year, we had over 200 seniors, over half of our senior class who were placed in career internships here in this community by our employers. And I can't express my gratitude enough.
Absolutely.
Hired kids. And like you, we were just terrified with how COVID
Right.
affect all that. And come to find out, of course, we took a dip because there were dips in employment nationally and everywhere else. But within time, we've recovered almost all of that loss, and our kids are back out in the community working in careers.
And the great thing about that partnership, that first partnership meeting and since then, is that now our business and industry partners have more of a hands-on interest in what goes on inside the high school building.
And some fun feedback for us to take into account when we're changing and manipulating our programs and making them better too.
Absolutely. So this slide refers to the senior capstone. One of the things that we wanted to do is we try not to just go through the motions.
So first, I hate to interrupt, but define capstone. When we say the word capstone,
Capstone means your final experience. So that oftentimes in a college major, you have a capstone, which would be a senior research paper or a fellowship or an internship or student travel or something like that. So in keeping with the notion of student choice, we have multiple ways that our seniors can satisfy this capstone requirement. And I know that's a little bitty writing. So if any of you are interested in that, you can always access that graphic very specifically in our course guide, which is available on our district website.
some of this data too, we will post on our website. And then, Lisa Chinister is sitting over here. She's our communications director. We'll do a good job posting those things out on Facebook so the public can see some of the statistics with the programs.
You bet. So there are three ways that students can satisfy the senior capstone requirement. And within those three ways, there's a great deal of choice even within each one of those pathways. If we have a student who wants to go to college and is defined that as their post-high school plan, we expect them to either get college credit while they're still in high school through concurrent enrollment at Tulsa Community College or by taking an AP exam in an advanced placement class.
This is an appropriate time to insert EDGE, just real quickly, because that's
good.
So this is our first year to actually offer the TCC EDGE program as part of Charles Page High School. And what that means is that by the time the students that are entering this program graduate, they will be able to graduate not only with a high school diploma, but also an associate's degree from Tulsa Community College. And that starts with, which is soon to be announced next week, 10 students from our 8th grade that will be entering into that program next year as 9th graders. So that's something to look forward to as we make that announcement on social media next week.
Should have an associate's degree, meaning they've covered 2 years of coursework,
Yes.
and can choose to go on toward a bachelor's later.
That's-
Sorry to interrupt.
No, that's perfectly in line with what we're talking about here. And I love how that works. When you start the model, it's amazing how things fit into the model. And the TCC EDGE program, we have great partnership with those people. It is a great fit with everything else that we're doing here. The second way that a student can complete their capstone is by completing vocational training, technical training, either through full-time enrollment or half of their day enrollment at Tulsa Technology Center at one of their campuses, either here in Sand Springs or in Tulsa, or by concentrating in one of our career tech programs that we have on campus, like business computing, agriculture, career, family and community sciences, what old people call home ec, or that. The third way that they can satisfy the senior capstone is through working as a career intern. Actually working in our local economy in a field, in a job that they've identified as an area of career choice. So 3 choices, and within those 3 choices, a great deal of smaller choices that they can make as well. So
3 of those tech programs are actually on campus. Although if they choose one that isn't in their interest on campus, we will transport.
Absolutely. And we have roughly 100 students in the morning and 100 students in the afternoon who do half of their day at Charles Page High School, the other half of their day in Tulsa or here at the Sand Springs campus. Another, we mentioned Tulsa Community College, Tulsa Technology Center. It's a huge partner of ours, making advanced specific career training available to our kids.
And we have 3 fields of STEM coursework that are offered through the high school that are also career. I forget that a lot, that they're considered career tech programs as well.
Exactly. Biomedical science, engineering, and computer science.
We're in year 4, I believe, of engineering
Mhm.
this year. So we've kept that flight and they have come, they've enrolled.
The students have enrolled, and we have not yet been so engaged in state testing and other things. We haven't really identified all of our course requests, but I can tell you that the enrollment in all 3 of those Project Lead the Way STEM offerings is continuing to grow. If you build a quality program and you build a quality facility,
We'll be adding an additional year of computer science next year and cybersecurity.
cybersecurity. So it's amazing how our students and our parents have voted with their feet and enrolled in these programs. So it's really good.
So again, another insertion, but we also are adding esports. That doesn't sound like a repertoire that would be a part of the curriculum conversation. However, it elicits scholarship possibilities
Yeah.
for
There are several fields that you could go into as a result of involvement in esports that range from marketing to coding. I mean, there's no end to it, but it's new for us next year, and we're going to have tryouts soon. for
Very soon.
sports teams.
And the interest is very high. So I expect the Sandites to be big movers and shakers and competitors in the world of esports. So this graphic that's on the stage right now, or on the screen right now, excuse me, refers to our tracking of how we're doing with the senior capstone. And you can tell by this, the small red, dark red wedge at the very top of the pie is the students who did not complete a senior capstone out of last year's graduating class. And you'll see that that's only 4%, meaning 96%. The rest of the pie graph are students who did complete the senior capstone requirement.
so out of approximately 400 seniors, only 16-ish
Ish.
did not complete a capstone, which means
Correct.
the rest of the class did. It's amazing
They
data.
And I think it's really what I love about this graph as well is over on the left side of the graph are the combo kids. We have kids who did Tulsa Community College and Tulsa Tech, or we had students who did Tulsa Community College and a career internship. So many of our students engaged in 2 of the different pathways that they could choose, or the choices they could choose for satisfying the career for the senior capstone, and a few of them actually did all 3.
I was looking at that little wedge, that yellow wedge there. That's
Yeah.
exactly what you're talking about.
Those are students who did Tulsa Community College or AP, students who did Tulsa Tech, and students who also did a career internship.
Describe AP. You may have said that already, but
AP, and I throw that, and I'm sorry, I apologize for that.
that's good.
Educational jargon. AP
Right.
refers to advanced placement, and they are the capstone, if you will, within each subject area. So there's AP English, AP Mathematics, which is calculus. There we have AP Biology. We're adding AP Chemistry very soon, AP World History, AP American History, and AP American Government. And they are those courses where a student can take an exam, a national exam at the end of that course that will grant them college credit. So it's another very important and very viable way for students to earn college credit. Well,
AP advanced placement.
advanced placement. And I think that is important. I think there's an important point to be made about AP classes at Charles Page High School. I think that there are those who will see this broad career emphasis that we have and say, well, it's a career tech school. Yes, we are a career tech school, but we are also a very traditional academic high school that has all of those robust academic offerings for those students who do want the traditional college pathway.
You had your leadership meeting today that involved parents and students and teachers, counselors, and administrators alike. And we talked a little bit about kind of hanging, especially for state testing, our hat on that ACT test. But the truth is that's only a portion
Right.
of what we portray in terms of what we do in high school. And so the ACT is just a portion of that. If we could illustrate through competencies what we're doing at Charles Page, you wouldn't see a single assessment instrument that would show that progress. I think that's worth noting.
It is, and at some point, and this is just my editorial opinion, but at some point, I do think that our leaders are going to have to recognize that since we do have students who choose other paths beyond high school than college, that we need to assess their achievement in high school differently. So a little bit of the nuts and bolts. Here's how we do it. I'm sure that people, and I know this because parents ask us and students ask us, my goodness, Mr. Trout, I'd love to do violin, but I'm also in the band and I'm also playing football, or I'd love to do a career internship, but half of my day is TCC and the other half of my day is Tulsa Tech. How in the heck can we get it all done? So this is a little bit of an illustration of how we do that. And I really want to do a shout out to my counselors, Megan Elliott and Kendra Roulette and Sandy Franklin, who really get the model. They really understand what we're trying to do, and they work hard to make these choices available to students because the students are right. It is hard to fit all of that into their limited day and into their 4 years of high school.
Interesting point. I walked into Charles Page High School today, and there were students in non-traditional classes. And so you'll see a sprinkling of students that are on the steps in the front lobby or sitting in some of the furniture that's in the lobby area or dispersed throughout the building. It's not because they're not participating in their path. It's because they're off campus.
Right.
It's an interesting, it's just non-traditional, and I love that look.
It is, and you talk to those kids, and of course the old school principal in me at first was, you there, what are you doing there? And they'll tell me, well, I'm on my way to my cybersecurity tech course at Tulsa Tech, or I'm on my way to my American political thought class at Tulsa Community College. So yes, they are engaged. They're all doing something. And it is a counseling challenge. I'm the big idea guy. It is a counseling challenge for me to tell the counselors we need these choices available to our students. And they sort of lean back and say, oh my gosh, Mr. Trout, what are you doing for this? But they make it happen. So this is the central graphic there is from our course catalog. Those are the state graduation requirements. And you can tell that those are substantial. The courses that students have to take just as a matter of regular high school graduation are there, but we log this senior capstone requirement on top of that. So I want to talk a little bit about how we make that happen. And what we have next are some sample student schedules that kind of show you in real form. These are actual Charles Page High School students, show you what some of our kids are actually doing. So yeah, student A, student B, student C. And again, these are real kids at Charles Page High School this year. And you can see, if you look at that very closely, there's student A is an athlete, has strength and conditioning first hour, has athletics 7th hour, but you will notice that they are also in fundamentals of computer applications, which is one of our STEM courses in computer programming. But then to be able to make all of that happen, we had to do some virtual programming as well. Student B is a career intern. Those first 2 hours of the day, that student is out in the community working, but also knows that this student is also an AP student. Not only is this student engaged as a career intern, they are preparing for college simultaneously with that. And student C is in the band. Is a band student who does band, does a couple of virtual classes through a virtual academy. I'll refer to that here in just a second, and then goes on to health sciences at the Limley campus in Tulsa.
We talked about our virtual academy and how that pairs into what we're doing and really part of how magic happens.
Absolutely.
well.
If you don't mind flipping to the next slide, I refer to that. It really is our secret sauce around here is our virtual academy. We would not be able to provide the flexibility that we provide if it were not for our students having access to virtual coursework, because quite frankly, there just aren't enough hours in the day for many of our students. And that's a good problem to have when your students are so engaged in high school that they're trying to do so many things that, you know, they just don't have enough time to do it.
When people sometimes think of virtual academy because of COVID, they feel like it's an all or nothing.
Right.
So we use that word blended model
Correct.
a lot. And so it's really important to understand that you can do both. And sometimes to access what you want, you have to. So if I want to be in band, but that is the only time that in-person class 4 is offered, whatever it is, then virtual is a really great option for them. And we have a handful, more than a handful of tutors available in the evenings
Absolutely.
to help if they need a little bit of push because they're not in person.
Sure. And another thing, another point I would like to make, and I think it's important for parents to realize that a student who is full virtual student or a student who is blended still has access to everything else that we do at Charles Page High School, including our counseling staff. Our counseling staff is divided alphabetically, and every student has a counselor. And whether that student is virtual, blended, or full-time at Charles Page High School, they still are being monitored, closely watched, and have the kind of tutoring and other academic supports that any other student would have.
And one question that I used to get when I was in that program was that, can we still take part in the activities?
And they do. They do. And it was really kind of interesting just kind of to illustrate that. During the COVID pandemic, when sports opened back up, many of our athletes who were rightfully concerned about being quarantined because of exposure to COVID decided that they would do everything except their sport through our virtual academy. And I am proud to report that those kids had a great deal of success. They're all back with us now, for the vast majority of them back with us now, but academically they didn't fall behind. They stayed deeply engaged in their academics and were also able to play their sport, play their harmonica. We don't have a harmonica, we have clarinets and drums and things like that.
Yes.
So anyway, we're able to do their activities. So that's a very important point, Sean.
But I will say it takes a team, and not just your counselors. Teachers had to adjust to the versatility of the schedule. And so really staying focused on the importance of student choice and getting students where they want to be, and they're an active participant in their own education, was something that people had to embrace. And it's happened.
It has. And you know, we refer to these as the non-negotiables at Charles Page High School. We expect our teachers to work in collaboration with each other. We expect our teachers to intervene academically when students struggle, and we expect our teachers to support student choice by making their coursework and making what they teach relevant to the career pathways that we're offering to our students.
So essentially, you've created some programs that made it so that there's something for everyone.
We think so. We like to think, and I've been quoted, this is probably the most quotable thing I've ever said in my life.
I think you're famous.
You can go anywhere from Charles Page High School. And I think we probably need to expand that to say, you can really do anything that you want. I don't mean do anything you want. You can pursue any career, any post-high school plan at Charles Page High
I
School.
love this slide. It's just that visual representation of all those pieces, PTLWs that
Here's Project Lead the Way. What's the Project Lead the Way is the ultimate in STEM education, STEM curriculum. We are very, very fortunate that our community stepped up. Project Lead the Way curriculum is very expensive, and our community stepped up. And I should say our superintendent has not been shy about going out and talking to our community about seeking donations and contributions to support Project Lead the Way offerings at Charles Page, and all the way down through kindergarten.
it's an investment in people, because not only is the curriculum stellar, but it takes a chunk of change to get people trained to do that. So the folks that we invest in teacher wise to teach that curriculum, we invest some pretty big funds to get them to a place where we have that competency.
Sure, absolutely.
So ending all this, I mean, I think it's important that we do offer our thanks to all of these partners that we have. We could not offer any of the choices or many of the choices without our partnership with Tulsa Community College, with Tulsa Technology Center, and then that sort of Kiwi colored slide there is all of the business partners who we have right now who are offering our student internships here in the community.
Paid student internships for the most part.
Yes.
Right.
So we're at that point. I think that's the last slide.
It is.
And
So-
we may ask
I
questions.
do know we have at least one question.
We do. And for those at home, if you have a question you'd like to ask, there's a link in the description. Click that and we will get some answers for you. But right now we have a question from Jennifer. She asks, is it possible for a student to attend Tulsa Tech and follow the college-bound course path?
Absolutely, it is. It's challenging, but a student can certainly do that. They just have to be sure that they're choosing the 3 courses that they do have at Charles Page High School carefully to make sure that those courses are preparing them for college. I won't gild the lily too much and say that a student who's in Tulsa Tech and also wants to be in college prep can do PE or something like that has a non-academic emphasis. They're going to have to really stay hooked up during those 3 morning classes or 3 afternoon classes, wherever their tech program is. They're going to have to take some AP offerings to be best prepared. And we would hope that by the time that they're a senior, they're probably going to spend part of their day maybe at Tulsa Community College as well. But absolutely, we have students who do that, and that option is certainly available.
Any other questions, Lisa?
No.
Okay. So if a person who didn't get to watch live tonight has a question, best way to get a hold of folks at Charles Page High School would be?
The best way to contact any of us at Charles Page High School is usually by email. I am stan.trout@sandites.org. All of our staff in the district are at sandites.org, first name dot last name at sandites.org. I'm Stan Trout. Ryan Biven is my career tech director at Charles Page, and my assistant principal for curriculum. Sean Beard can answer all of these questions as well. But we're there, and I encourage all of you to access our district website. Tina Moses and Lisa Chister have done a great job of keeping that thing up to date and upgrading the content there. So all of our names, all of our contacts are there.
Shameless plug for the Sandite app. Some of you may or may not know, but there is an app available. What's really cool about the app, you can pull up sites and go to staff and find everybody you want to find. And it is first name dot last name at sandites.org. So that's a really good tool. We could certainly post a link or something to the app.
And you can see a lot of the photos of the programs that Mr. Michelle
Sure.
was talking about. So
Right. The website is interesting because you can go into the curriculum area, Sean, am I right about that? And access really course guide that would give you pretty much all.
if you go to the Charles Page High School page, definitely.
Absolutely. And we would encourage you to contact us, call us, email us, and particularly if you're considering bringing your student to Charles Page High School, scheduling a tour. We do that all the time. We're very proud of our facility, very proud of our teachers and our programs. So if you'd like to come visit us, just email me, let me know, and we'll get you hooked up.
So I think that concludes our program. Very proud that you joined us. Also would encourage questions later. Our goal is to make sure your students have what they need. And we are fairly easy to access. So
Absolutely.
just give us a shout and let us know how we can help you.
And if you like this video, like and subscribe to the channel on YouTube.
Shameless plug. So I think that concludes Sandite. You guys have a good Thursday evening. And actually, we're going to see you in a couple of weeks. We're going to be talking about transfers and enrollment. So we'll see you soon.